Welcome, everybody. Again, my name is Chad Gilfillan. I'm a Senior Vice President, Investment Banking here at Red Cloud Securities. Joining us for this one is CanAlaska, quite busy, not only in uranium, but across multiple commodities in Canada. Joining us today are Peter Dasler and Cory Belyk. I believe both gentlemen will be contributing to the discussion. We're giving them 15 minutes with 5 minutes for questions thereafter. For listeners, if you do have a question, please click the button on the bottom and write it in, and we'll try to address as many as we can. So with that, Peter, I believe I'll turn it over to you first.
Thank you very much, Chad, and thank you for the opportunity to talk to the people on the conference. CanAlaska has been involved in uranium exploration for a very long time, and the last 6 years, while the uranium market was down, we actually branched out and acquired a number of nickel projects and some copper projects. And I'll have Cory Belyk, my COO, talk about those as we get into this discussion. This past year has been a tremendous changer for everybody around the world. We've seen people looking to the future, seeing where they want to go. And we're seeing this tremendous surgence of energy concerns. We've seen people move into electric cars, but all sorts of other electric appliances. And we've seen the cost of solar and wind come down. But we've also seen a lot of new developments in the nuclear industry. I believe that we need to resolve the problems of carbon in the atmosphere. This image that we've got in front of us is quite staggering for people to have a look at. We do have a beautiful world, but we need to look what's happening in the future. And I see this morning that Elon Musk is actually talking about the pollution caused by Bitcoin and is holding back some of his activities on Bitcoin because a lot of that energy is generated from coal. You must realize that over 50% of the energy in the world is coming from coal, and then a large amount from natural gas, and only about 8 to 10% is coming from renewables. So we have to do something about this if we want to solve our problems in the future, and I think nuclear is the way. So turning on to the next slide, you can see that our company is looking for what we call energy metals, uranium, nickel, and copper. You've got the uranium, can supply a lot of carbon-free energy. Nickel, you're going to need that to store it, and copper to transmit it across the power lines. And our focus is in the Athabasca Basin for uranium. And we have a very long story in that area. We have over 500,000 acres of land, multiple projects in the eastern part of the basin and some in the western part of the basin. Cory Belyk has been working in this area for the past 25 years. He was a senior manager and exploration geologist with Cameco Corporation, and ran Australian operations and Mongolian operations before he came here and joined us with CanAlaska. And we've been very focused now on our new discovery at West McArthur. So we're project generators, and we have an opportunity here to move with this uranium market. I thoroughly believe in what we're doing, and I'd like Cory to give you the rest of the story. Thank you very much. Over to you,
Thank
Cory.
you, Peter. Today, looking at this map, you can see that our project portfolio is vast. It's well positioned in and around, importantly, the infrastructure of the Key Lake, Rabbit Lake operations, but also the McLean Lake Mill. Our projects are well suited in the eastern part of the Athabasca Basin with lots of discovery potential and upside, simply because it's in the right space. In terms of 2021 activities, we came through Q1 with a couple of drill programs, one by our partner Ominika and the Quesnel, BC on our copper project. We're awaiting results from that, which should be soon. We completed in March a drilling program at our Waterbury South project for uranium. That's just a few kilometers from the Cigar Lake mine, and it's on trend from the Eagle Point operation of Cameco's. This summer, we hope to get into our nickel projects in Manitoba and also back to West McArthur, which is a focus for us in the portfolio, where we've drilled up to 8% uranium and look to advance that project in the next number of months. In addition, in the summer, we plan on advancing a couple of other areas, our new Northeast Wollaston projects looking for uranium, but also in the Northwest Athabasca region where we have diamond properties. So it's a busy year for us looking ahead to 2021, focused on all our commodities in our portfolio, copper, uranium, nickel, and diamonds, but really with a focus on uranium. Well, the business case for scenario or for uranium is pretty clear, and it's been discussed today. There's a supply-demand gap forming. There's new builds occurring. There's ongoing production of power from nuclear reactors all around the planet. So really, if we want to meet these targets by 2050, we're going to need, a lot of uranium for these reactors. The business case is very strong. We've got leaders out there, well-respected leaders that are getting on board saying nuclear really is the answer. It's the ideal baseload energy that reduces emissions globally. Our portfolio is really focused on uranium and nickel. During the downtime for the nickel price in the last 10 years post-Fukushima, CanAlaska turned its attention to a major nickel district in the neighboring province of Manitoba called the Thompson Nickel, Round Valley's Thompson Smelter. We've been busy project generating in that space and doing deals with Fjordland, a group owned by, in large part by Robert Friedland, and also working with other parties like D-Block down around Manterbridge, which we released in the past couple of weeks. Back to our focus in uranium. We're situated in the eastern Athabasca, in and around the infrastructure, with our partner Cameco at West McArthur, and we're well positioned for that next major discovery. Portfolio spans a broad spectrum of target areas from basement mineralization, shallow depth, all the way through to mid and deeper targets like McArthur River. So we're well positioned for that next discovery in multiple different spaces for uranium. Produce discoveries such as McArthur, Cigar, or looking at West McArthur, it's our joint venture with Cameco Corporation. It's located approximately 12 kilometers from the McArthur River mine, the world's richest uranium mine. We can drive here year-round. It's very accessible. We've got a new discovery there, our 42 zone discovery in the past couple of years, where we've drilled up to 8% uranium. It's along the same geological trend as Cameco's Fox Lake deposit, which has hosted 68 million pounds at almost 8%. Drilling the grades like Fox Lake already at the 42 zone. And this past summer, we spent a few weeks in the field during COVID safely to advance and understand that exploration corridor for about 3 kilometers to the southwest of our 42 zone. We believe we have at 42 zone that tiger by the tail, that first indication of significant uranium mineralization on a corridor that was already host to 70 million pounds of uranium that our partner owns. And we're excited about this new corridor that we brought into play here. Looking at the 42 zone discovery, this is a giant mineralizing event akin to what we see at Cigar and McArthur. You don't see this very often in the Athabasca Basin, but where you do, you need to pay attention to it. We drilled 8% uranium. We've got an alteration envelope here shown in yellow on the left that is roughly 300 meters in width and can go right to surface, nearly 900 meters up. This is a giant mineralizing event. To scale, roughly on the right is Cigar and McArthur. So you can see that it's in that range. And when you see an event like this, you need to pay attention to it, especially when you're drilling up to 8% uranium. Our partner has a need. The Key Lake mill will need feed after McArthur River is done. McArthur, when it restarts, has somewhere around 15 years of mine life left. And any tier 1 discovery that could be made at our West McArthur project with our partner Cameco could easily provide the next feed for Key Lake. We're on a growing target on a mineralized corridor that already has 70 million pounds at 8% on it. We're in the right geological space. We're in a zone of discovery, and it's an important corridor. New exploration opportunities. We've been busy generating new projects. Our Northeast Wollaston project in the northeast part of the basin, or just outside the basin, is really targeted at Eagle Point and Arrow analogs. We believe we know what these look like because we know that we have the Collins Bay structure coming through. That's the host to the Eagle Point deposit, just a few 10 coming through and creating structural interplay that is important for hosting basement type deposits. believe we know what these look like. At Eagle Point, for instance, it's associated with what we call EM bright spots. This is a measure of the alteration in the basement rocks. The image behind me actually comes from the O2 next uranium deposit. It's one of the first ore headings at 400 meters depth on that bright spot. So it's an important piece of knowledge. Gravity lows are also associated with this, for instance, at Arrows. So you get a combination of the EM bright spots and the gravity lows. And that's an important place to look for uranium mineralization outside the basin margins. We believe we have that at our Watson project, for example, where we have areas where we get gravity lows along with these bright spots. Here showing one that doesn't have a gravity anomaly on it. Where those coincide is a great place to look for uranium. A kilometer away from one of these anomalies, we have 1.4% uranium in a rock sample. So we're in the right geological space. We've got targets already identified that look to be the same type and scale. Excited to get in here this summer. So looking at these projects, it's an important place to look for basement analogs like Arrow or Eagle Point. In addition to that, we've got an advanced project called Cree East. Here we have 9 uranium zones already identified, 2 of which, like zones A and B, are very important and drill ready at this point. Showing the same signs as what we see at West McArthur. Significant levels of alteration along with uranium enrichment and faulted sandstone in basement. The project itself is the size of Greater Toronto, 40 kilometers by 40 kilometers. It's only 40 kilometers away from the Key Lake Mill. Again, Key Lake will need a source of feed post McArthur River in about 15 years' time post restart. Zones A and B are really important. We've got several hundred meters of uranium enrichment up into the sandstone along with associated trace metals. Zone B, the geophysics is telling us we have the alteration moving up into the sandstone. Those are the warm colors in the lower image. These are important areas to look. This project got stopped post Fukushima. We all know that the industry went sideways on us and we just haven't got back. Drill-ready targets with uranium enrichment and mineralization with the right alteration fingerprint, like West McArthur, like Arthur River, like Cigar Lake. We want to get back in here. We own it 100%. We can easily get into here to advance these. This winter, we drilled our Waterbury South project. It's located along the major structure, the Rabbit Lake Fault, which is actually the Collins Bay Fault, further to the northeast, which is the focus of our northeast project. We're only a few kilometers from the Cigar Lake mine, and it's an important area to look for uranium mineralization. Waterbury South, we just completed roughly 1,400 meters of drilling on a couple of targets that are following up good indications of a hydrothermal system with uranium. We'll be releasing those results. We're just waiting on geochemistry and alteration analysis to release that to market. So this is an important place to look. We're really excited about it, and it's along the right major structure, regional structure. Waterbury East, similar scenario. Here we've got a target that looks like something that's drilled 2% uranium, over 7 meters on Cameco's side of the boundary. We didn't get in here this winter due to winter conditions not allowing it. So this is a target sitting on the table, ready to drill in the future. Part 2 to CanAlaska, nickel. Up the Thompson Belt, the world's 5th largest sulfide nickel jurisdiction. It's a great place to look for sulfide nickel. We did a deal on our Hunter Strong projects with Fjordland, which is 30% owned by Mr. Robert Friedland. So we're excited to get in there this summer if we can get our permits in place. We've also done a deal, leased an LOI with a company called D-Block down at Manabridge. So we're working through that process. So we've got a lot going on at Thompson Nickel Belt. And we're staking new ground near Manabridge, which is host to already nickel mineralization of significance. We're in the right geological space for sulfide nickel in a great jurisdiction in and around Vale's operations at Thompson. It's a great place to look, and we're excited about getting in here this summer and doing some copper. As I mentioned in Q1, we had our partner drilling on our Mouse Mountain project in the Quesnel Trough. Great place to look for copper. This is what you want for tier 1 copper mineralization. We're waiting on those results to be released to market. In addition, our North Rattan project in Manitoba, which has been sitting idle for a number of years, is just going through the permitting process. It has a target on it that looks identical to the Rattan copper zinc mine, a VMS deposit. It's 83 million tons. It's the third largest underground VMS open pit as well in Canada. And here we have a target that's the same scale, same size, already we know in the VMS system with copper mineralization. So we're excited about this target as well, and that's a great place to look for copper. Our board is strong. We've got political strength. We've got technical strength. Paul Sheeman was involved in the discovery of Cigar Lake back in the 1980s and ran Arreva's operations for about 10 years out in that part of the basin. He knows what we're looking for. We've got a great strength on the board. It's very supportive of what we're trying to do. We really, truly are here for success. Structure is very strong. Our share price is sitting around 75 cents as of May 6th. There's only 80 million shares outstanding in this company. It's well positioned with a good cash component at 7 million roughly today. So we are positioned very well to advance these projects. Stock moves quickly on discovery, and we're excited for the future. CanAlaska really ticks all the boxes. Most importantly, at West MacArthur and at Cory, we're advancing new discoveries, and that's going to be our focus this summer. Thank you for your time.
Right, excellent. Thank you so much, Cory. We do have a few questions come from online. The first one is, what is CanAlaska's strategy with working with First Nation communities?
We've been heavily involved with First Nation communities since 2005, when we actually moved on to the lands at Fond du Lac and also at Stony Rapids. We worked with both of the communities. We brought on community members to help us assist what's going on. We also then moved into Manitoba and had a lot of engagement with the Lac Brochet community, and then carried out a large amount of work through there. With each of those communities, we entered into agreements that allowed them to get all of the information that's going on and participate in the programs that were going on. And I think we had a very good working relationship with those communities. That's ongoing. All companies are getting very involved with First Nations communities, because we see them as the workforce that are going to give us stability as we go forward to develop a mine in any of these remote areas. I'm thoroughly committed to that, have been ever since we started CanAlaska, and I'm very pleased with our track record.
Thanks, Peter. No shortage of things to talk about in the short amount of time that you did. With the model that you guys have, what is your, I guess, new project pipeline, potential transaction deals look like? Are you satisfied with your portfolio now, or are you looking at other opportunities?
We're always looking, but I'll let Cory answer that.
We're always looking for the right opportunities out there, whether it's our own staking, as Northeast Walston shows, also looking at other or at Resting Lake, for instance, in the Thompson Belt. So yes, we're always looking for the project generation where it makes sense, not just jurisdiction, but geologically. Where truly is the best place to look for that next, what we like to say, we're focused on tier 1 discovery. Mm-hmm. The uranium space, we're looking to displace the tier 2 and tier 3s out there. We truly are after that tier 1 discovery. A lot say that, but our portfolio holds that potential within it, given its size and jurisdiction and location and geological merits to date. But in Manitoba, for instance, we're going in and surgically selecting the best geology, where you could have that nickel mineralization in one of the most prolific belts on the planet. So yes, we're both continuing to project generate. We're continuing to bring in partners to help move those all forward. So we're not using our, let's call it uranium money per se, on other commodities. for the most part. And we love uranium. That's our forte. That's what we love to look for, and we believe we've got the portfolio for that next discovery. But yeah, we're always looking.
Yeah, the opportunity for a tier 1 discovery in the Athabasca Basin has shown to exist, whether it's for Fission, NextGen, Rough Rider, or the original ones out there, or Cameco or Areva. We've now got a lot more technology to allow us to look deeper in the basin, look at these targets. We have now got ourselves drill holes into what is sizable targets that I think can allow us a tier 1 discovery. And as Cory says, a tier 1 discovery displaces all else. Our opportunity is enormous on that 500,000 acres of land, the 10 projects we got now. And, it'll just be complemented by anything we do in the nickel space or the copper space. Thank you.
Great way to end it, guys. Thank you so much for your time, and look forward to seeing lots from CanAlaska over the summer.
Thank you, Chad.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chad.